Hello everybody and welcome to Fruits Basket Season 2 Episode 20 Anime Review. In this episode we finally took some time to focus on the student council boys and girls. Mostly girl, and also Yuki got a lot as well. I guess he is a student council boy. When you stick and think about it, of course he is. He's the president. He's kind of in charge of the whole shebang. But yeah, we finally found out a little bit more about what's up with Machi and Kakeru. That was quite interesting. Obviously, that's not been resolved yet, so expect more of that. And also, man, the class play is going to be funny, isn't it? Yeah, it is. It's definitely going to be funny. It should be a right hoot when we get there. But anyway, let's crack on the episode, see exactly how everything went down. Let's do this. We open up with a very brief scene of just the bit from last episode, or whatever it was, with Yuki realizing that him and Rin have something in common. Was that last week? That was last week, yeah. My timeline's all over the place. Very brief just then, it was like boom, immediate opening. It was like, okay then, that came out of nowhere. Thing they yearn for is what that was. Their class play is going to be Cinderella, which you look at the people in the class, and we'll get to how everything turned out. But it didn't go the way I expected, let's just say that much. Uo isn't happy because it's Cinderella, because it's lame, I guess, I don't know. I don't know how that woman thinks. Yuki is not going to accept a bigger role, basically because he's super busy, you know? He's student council president, he's also Yuki, so that's like +2 busyness points just for being Yuki, so yeah, exactly. Kakeru comes to get him from the classroom, the old yun thing happens. Surprised that everyone else wasn't confused. Like, what's a yun? Like, surprised Kyo didn't make fun of him, unless that already happened. And my brain is gone. That could also be a thing. They have a little walk to the room, talking about shirt buttons being done up wrong, about how, you know, his relationship with his parents is, and Kakeru's like, I get it, that's a great analogy, my dude. And then a book comes flying out the window, and it's like, oh my god, it wasn't even like a paperback, that was a hardback. If that hit someone, they would have got at least minor brain damage. So it's a good thing that there was nobody in the direct path of the book. I burnt my tongue, so speaking is hard. Who did that? It was Machi. Inside, there's papers everywhere. What the hell happened in there? Kakeru basically says, yo bro, I got this. Let me take care of it, you just pretend this didn't happen. And now, who is just the biggest little asshole this episode. Wasn't a fan of him this week. He was a bit annoying, a bit stuck up. Not stuck up. Stick in the mud is the word I'm looking for. But Yuki though, Yuki was cool with it, and Kimi just didn't care. I remembered her name's Kimi, and by remembered I mean somebody told me, and I'm saying that I remembered, which I was like a forced memory awakening. But no, Yuki, you know, now is complaining, and Yuki just glares at him and is like, we will do it later. Like with this super deep voice. And it's like, Yuki, what the hell? It's like you're a different character all of a sudden. I love it. And then he, on his way there, I think it might have even been during the meeting, he was like, what is Machi and Kakeru's relationship? What is going on over there? Could be anything. Anything. I mean, it's not what I expected. I mean, it's sort of what I expected. I expect them to be related, but not exactly how they were related. I mean, we'll get, I mean, it's right now. We'll get to it literally right now. They get back to the room, and not only has Machi's not there anymore, she's gone home. Kakeru hasn't cleaned up very much. I'll give him the benefit of doubt and say he cleaned up maybe a paper. So there's that, I guess. Didn't do much is the gist of it. Now he's all pissed off, and he goes home because he's a little wet fart, I guess. I don't know what to call him. Kakeru, they start talking, and Kakeru throws the important documents everywhere, like knocks them out of Yuki's hands. For some reason, my guess is it's so they could keep talking, is just what I'm thinking. Machi didn't tell Kakeru why she did it. Might be because of him, and then she walked off when he said that. Turns out they're siblings or step-siblings, so hey, it's anime, so you know what that means. No, if Fruits Basket does that, I'll be very disappointed, and I really don't think they will, so that's good. Basically get then, like, their backstory, I guess. So they were both, like, the heirs to a family, like, he was older and a boy, but his his mum was like a mistress as opposed to the straight up wife, whereas Machi is the younger daughter of the proper wife. I think I got that right. So obviously some sort of power struggle, which really the kids didn't have much in the way of. I mean, they played along for a while, at least Kakeru did, before he flipped out and was like, this is stupid. I don't want no part of this. I'm just going to live my life and live his life he did and everything. And then he's like, Machi might not be free yet. And then Yuki's like, oh man, we finished the papers. So then he throws the papers. It's like, nah, our conversation's not over yet. And it's like, Yuki, you were a good boy once. You've been corrupted by this, what do you want to call him? A chav? I don't want to call him a chav. I don't like that word. But yeah, then they talk about parents a little bit more. Yuki's like, you have to live with your parents, basically, despite their flaws. You don't get to choose them. And then Kakeru's all like, it's good enough buttoned up wrong. So because he's like, you gotta fix your buttons. Kakeru's like, no, this is good enough. So it's like they've got sort of not opposing views, but they don't necessarily agree, I think it's fair to say. Later on in everything we see the fixing of the buttons essentially. Yuki's mum signed the phone document and then what did she say? She says like, don't be on your phone too much like an actual parent. And Yuki's like, my god, that might be the first motherly thing you've ever said. And then one day, hopefully, they can all look back on the past and laugh, which is just what you want. And everything. Obviously, Kakeru and Machi's situation hasn't been solved yet. But Yuki and his mum seem to be on a lot better terms. So that, at least, that's a good thing. And now for something a lot more lighthearted. So those rumours that Toru mentioned 2 weeks ago, 1 week ago, whenever it was, about the school festival and fireworks and a bonfire and all this other stuff. Basically, those rumours got around everywhere, so everyone's talking about it. So basically, everyone's going to be super disappointed now because they're all hyped up for that. Who was the one that suggested it? You'll never guess who it was. It was Kakeru. Yeah. Of course, it was Kakeru, who doesn't seem to understand the concept of money. I don't think so. There's that. Good job, Kakeru. Machi apologizes for the situation yesterday and everything, and Yuki says, "Hey, don't just say you're not going to do it again. Let us help you. Let us understand why you did it so we can actually talk this through properly." It's like, Yuki, that was so cool. And then everyone else is like, Yuki, that was so cool. And I was like, you guys are reading my mind. Exactly. Except obviously now because he's an arsehole. Basically. I'm not a fan of him. Of the student council, he's easily my least favourite. At first I didn't really like many of them. They've sort of grown on me except for him. Like, I can't wait for it to be like, yeah, he's got no parents, and also his adopted parents hate him, and also he's got a artificial leg or something, just because he got it in an accident. Just give him the most tragic backstory part you can possibly do, just to make me feel bad for him, because, Fruits Basket's good at that, so hopefully, I just want him to not be an arsehole, is basically where I'm at. Anyway, Kimi calls him a prince because of his coolness, I guess, and then Yuki's like, Prince? Why does that trigger? That triggers his brain hole, and he's like, oh crap, I have to be somewhere, and he dashes out of the room like a fast man. Sorry, I feel like I let the side down there. Should have come up with a better metaphor, like the Flash or Sonic or some other fast, like a car. Cars are pretty quick. Runs back to the class to figure out, or find out, I guess, what the roles are for the whole class. So, not exactly how I thought it would go. I thought for sure it was going to be Toru, Cinderella, Kyo, Prince, Happy Days. No. So Toru is actually the evil stepsister because the Yuki fan club, I guess, were in charge of picking the roles. And they don't like Toru for being friendly, I guess, for being Yuki's friend. And so they made her the evil stepsister. However, somehow it kind of slipped through that the head, or not the head, but the head in the class, I guess, she gets put as the evil stepmother. So didn't quite work out for her. Also, like, the fairy godmother was Yuki, which, do people just want to see Yuki in girls' clothes? Is that all it is? This is all women clothes. It's completely different as well. Anyway, yeah, Cinderella ends up being Hanajima, and I was like, okay, that's odd. Uotani can kind of see it. Hannah? I don't know if it's just not just the Disney version where I'm thinking blonde equals Cinderella, but I'm just looking at Hannah. I'm like, I don't see you as Cinderella. And the prince is Kyo, obviously, so it's Hana and Kyo. Which I didn't see coming. I do sort of think maybe Uo and Kyo would have been funny, although that's too obvious, isn't it? That's way too obvious because of their little bickering thing they do. So yeah, maybe it was good they didn't do that, just to be a bit less obvious. But hey, what can you do? Toru, you know, Yuki's like, can I go now? I gotta get back to the council. I'm gonna zip on out of here like a fast thing. I did it again. Awful. Should have come up with one that time. And Toru changes. She's about to say, don't push yourself too hard, but she flips it to, hey, do your best. So it's like, encouragement as opposed to safety, I guess. And then, obviously, Yuki remembers Shigeru's words from before when Toru goes to try and convince Kyo. What is it, the whole, are you going to allow yourself to still be cared for? I can't tell if he was talking about himself or Kyo in that situation. Maybe it was both, because it was sort of applicable to both. If you think about it, so maybe it's like one of them multi-layered things, like onions, or ogres, or layer cake. Yuki returns to the student council. The other two, Nao and Kimi, don't know about the other two being siblings, or step-siblings, or whatever siblings. Who can you say? Are they step? No, they're half, right? Because they got the same dad. Yeah, step is when neither of your parents are the same, but you. Science is hard, guys. Like biology, insane. It's not in biology. It's just the way it's listed. Doesn't matter. So then Yuki gets locked inside the closet because Kimi. They blame Kimi. She was like, oh, by the way, the lock's not working properly, and then like a full 3 seconds passed at least before the door shut on him. Like, she finished the sentence before the door closed. That I'm blaming Yuki for that one. But then, when he's in there, knocks black paint everywhere, and I do mean everywhere. It's not everywhere, it's like along one wall and a bit on his clothes, so what can you say? Makes him remember Akito's words on the beach, which I can't remember when we saw this originally, if we actually heard them, or if we just saw they were talking, because I forgot about this scene if we did, about what yearns for, what he wants from Toru. But then, the important bit, you know, the thing he wants from Toru, we don't get to hear it, and I'm like, oh, okay then. Fine. I kind of wish you'd tell me that. Machi got him out by knocking the door in with a chair and everything, and she was like, I didn't want you to be anxious, and it's like, Machi, I don't understand your thought process. You're like Shigure. You're not quite like Shigure. That man, I can never try and figure him out. Like, but Machi's pretty hard to figure out as well. And then Yuki gets sudden sickness. They say it's from the paint fumes, but it really seemed like he was just trying to get out of Dodge. Like, okay, I need to escape, you know? That's what it looked like. Obviously, I don't think that's what it was. But the way it was done, how quick it happened, it was like, oh, I'm off. Can't talk to a girl, too scary. And then later on, he tells Kakeru the outline of, you know, his memory, I guess. Really, literally the outline. It doesn't go very far in depth at all. But hey, that's more than he's told most outsiders. So Kakeru should count himself lucky. He's never told anyone what the thing was. Basically what he wants from Toru. And then the episode ends again with him going, what I want from Toru is, or what I wanted from Toru is, the credits apparently, because he doesn't say it, which is really obnoxious and annoying. I really want to know, damn it. Like, yes, we can make some guesses, but those are just guesses, unless, I suppose, you've read the manga. But that's besides the point. Manga readers, don't spoil. But yeah, that was the end of the episode. It was another one that just flew by. We got to the end and I was like, is that 20 minutes? 24 minutes? Whatever you want to call it? I was like, damn. It's just flying by. Episode, 20? And we've got 5 episodes? Yeah, 5 episodes left. Which, of this season, obviously. But it's not a lot when you think about it. We've sort of blitzed through. This feels like a blitz. This doesn't feel like something that's been going on for 20 weeks. I feel like I've only been sitting here for like 5 weeks. But we're done with this far already. That's how fun it is to watch. Anyway, let's get to my favourite part of the episode. So I had a lot to choose from. I thought about the class shenanigans with the, play roles. I thought about some of the matchy stuff, just her being so unpredictable. But what I decided on was Yuki and Kakeru's button conversation, basically, about how, hey, you can't choose your parents, but, you got to make do with what you got, but try and you know, go for the best you can do despite the flaws and everything. I thought that was really good. And Fruits Basket sometimes will just say some things and it's like, yeah, I get it. I get it, Fruits Basket, you make sense. And this was another one of them where it was like, yeah, you right, Fruits Basket, you know? It's so good. It's like, for me, it's a good mix of like fantasy, because you know you got the zodiac element to it, and you know stuff like that. You know, like that, and then it's a good mix of like real drama, like stuff that would happen, and you can sort of relate to the real world. And it's like, damn, Fruits Basket, you hit me right here. It's about this show about people who turn into animals, because you know that's how you explain it to people. You're like, oh yeah, it's a show about people that turn into animals, which is definitely all Fruits Basket is about. It's nothing else. I'm joking, obviously. Anyway, yeah, episode solid as always. I'm starting to like the student council more. This episode did a good job of that. Like, Kakeru was another one at the first that I just despised. I just thought he was annoying. But like, I've come to love his carefreeness. His banter with Yuki. He's best friend now, ain't he? Really? Like that's pretty much how it is. Then you got Kimi, who is pretty one note at the moment, but hey, she's not too bad. She doesn't, and now I don't like, obviously. And Machi, like, I feel like we're going to solve Machi's problems. Oh, is that going to be this season? It feels like that would be a good way to end the season, considering where we are now, and you know how much we got left. But I've not read the manga, so I don't know. But anyway, I guess I'll wrap this up here. Thank you everybody for watching this review. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please consider subscribing and stuff for more reviews. That would help me out a lot. I will definitely appreciate it. I will see you next week for another episode of this. Take care and bye guys.